Oh, yeah. Yeah. Check this out. Here comes Jan. He's going to extol the virtues of coaching and try to sell us, all of his services. Yeah, that's rich. Yeah, thanks for the unbiased opinion, Jan. Okay, all that may be true. Well, not really. I'm not going to try to sell you on anything, but I want to talk to you about why coaching for voiceover is really helpful and what it's done for me. And yeah, I've been a coach now for 7 or 8 years, and I love it, but because I love voiceover. So let me tell you why it might be really good for you. Okay, first of all, there's the acting. If you're new to acting, then you need a place to start. Now, a lot of people will say, well, I can learn everything I need to know about acting by, watching movies and TV and practicing by myself and all that kind of stuff. And yeah, and on YouTube, right here on YouTube, there's a lot of great information about acting, specifically about acting. But here's the thing. It's really hard to improve as an actor when you're just working and practicing yourself or by yourself, kind of like in a vacuum. You've got no input. You've got nobody else telling you, hey, that was really great, but try this instead. Or, somebody to work with, somebody to bounce ideas off of, or just somebody that can give you tons of those light bulb moments. I've had tons of those with coaches, like things that they've brought about, things about me, about my performance that I never thought of before. Or they observed something about me that I couldn't tell because I was too close to it. What is it? The forest for the tree. You can't see the forest for the trees, that kind of thing. Sometimes you're just too close to it. You don't get an objective view of what you're doing, especially when you're acting by yourself. It's really hard. I'm not saying that you can't get there, but God, that could take forever. And even then, acting's all about performance, and you don't know the other perspective about who's observing you perform, unless you're working with somebody. So there's that. Okay. Also, speaking of acting, if you come from stage or on camera acting, which I've been in, voice acting's a different animal. It's different. And don't get me wrong, stage and on camera acting are very valuable skills to bring with you into voiceover, but there are nuances and differences that you'd probably be best to check out with somebody who's been doing this for a long time, who's been training other people and things like that. Just because you can't bring any of your physicality to a voice acting performance. You can't rely on body movements and facial expressions to get a point across. You have to be able to do it with nuance and subtlety through your voice only. And a lot of people aren't that in touch with how to, bring forth emotion and things like that and make convincing performances through the use of their vocals only. It's a different animal. So there's another reason. Here's another reason. Working with a coach, preferably somebody who's been in the business for a while and who has been in the trenches and is hopefully still in the trenches, working, will be able to give you a lot of information about not only your performances and how to get to where you need to be to be convincing and win those auditions and those jobs and things like that, but also other information about the business, things like marketing, audio quality, other aspects about the business, who to stay away from, who else to check out. There's a lot of information out there and not all of it's great. So having somebody that you trust and somebody who trusts you, that kind of a relationship can be invaluable. And having somebody on your side to help you through the twists and turns of the journey can be really, really helpful. And speaking of trust, it can be hard at first to for new people especially, to get in front of somebody and act. Because most coaching sessions, most performance coaching sessions are done on screen, on camera, over video, like on Zoom or something like that. And that can be a little intimidating. It can be kind of scary to open yourself up like that. But believe me, those of us that have been doing this for a long time, that's what we're there for. We're not there to judge you and say, no, you're wrong, you're awful, you suck, you need to get as far away from voice acting as possible. No, we're supposed to be here to encourage you and to show you different ways of getting somewhere, especially if you're having difficulty getting there. There are ways to show somebody how to get to a place where they want to go when they don't know how to get there themselves. And that brings me to another topic. Working with a coach is a huge time saver. Let me get back to the point about studying by yourself. Yeah, you might be able to get there and be successful all without studying with anybody ever. It could happen. The thing about studying with somebody is that it's a fast track. You're getting a lot of information, a lot of solid information quickly, and making leaps ahead of where you probably would have if you were just trying to hammer this stuff out. And leaping ahead of where you would have been if you have been trying to hammer this out. I still can't say it. Hammer this stuff out for yourself. Yay, I made it. I need somebody to coach me through that thought. Think of this as, from a purely business point of view, which of course is very important. You know how I kind of harp on about treating your voiceover endeavors as a business, because it is a business. It's a great investment. Yes, it's going to cost money. It may cost a lot of money, depending upon what is a lot of money to you. But I'll tell you, it's a wise investment because, as I said, it's going to supercharge your journey to getting to where you need to be ready for the market. And you've heard me talk about this before too, being ready for the market. And that's not just about being a great performer, but also being a really great business person, having great sounding audio. You've really got to have the whole package together. And working with a coach can satisfy so much of your demand for knowledge. Because most of us that have been doing this for any amount of time have a lot of experience with all of those things. With all of it, even the marketing and some of the design concepts for websites and stuff like that. At least we can point you in the direction. If we don't know the answer ourselves, we know who to talk to. Say, hey, you know what? I don't have that answer. Go talk to them. They're great. And I'll tell you that you're coming. I'll tell them that you're coming. And here's another thing. If you can, work with a variety of people, because even though you might have, a lot of people settle in and work with one coach for the most part, predominantly, it's good to get input from a number of people, because although all the information that one person might be giving you is fantastic, that's the opinions, the observations, and the experience of that one person. I've studied with a bunch of people, and they've all been great. Even if I've just had one session with them, I've learned something about myself, about the business, and to carry me on to the next level. Take it as a serious business investment that's going to pay dividends, because that's what it's done for me. And, and you've heard all of the other reasons why coaching is important, even for the top actors and athletes. And, everybody sees a coach. That's all true, too. But for you, it might just be the thing you need to carry you up to the next level. To even if you're at a stage in your career where you've kind of hit a plateau, you don't seem to be moving ahead, book a session with a coach and see if maybe a couple of those light bulbs will come off. Come off, go off. Go off, and help inspire you to move to the next level. Now, let me just give a quick shout out to some of my coaches. My very first one was a woman named Madeline Wild in Sonoma County. She got me started. She lit the fire in my belly, and I never looked back. The next one was, I was watching a lot of information from different online sources, one of which was Edge Studios. And I participated in a script competition or two, and I won one. And my prize was to have a voiceover coaching session with David Goldberg, the leader of Edge Studios. So, hey, that was fantastic. And it was, I only had the one session with him, but it was great. He was the first one to really suggest to me that I'm just trying too hard. I got to relax. And yeah, I took that to heart. It really sunk in, and I still try too hard sometimes. Next up was Bill DeWeese. Great coach, lots of helpful information, not only about performance, but about business. He's had some controversy surrounding him with his association and promotion of the use of Fiverr, which I had a problem with at first, but I've gotten over it. He's just a good guy, and I learned a lot from him. Let's see. Next was Cliff Zellman, the audio ad, not audio, but the automobile ad guru. He has, I don't know how many thousands of car dealership spots he has produced, but he was a great guy to work with. He helped me. We both have a musical background, and he helped me find or relate to the fact that scripts and voice acting can have a real melody. Not like a sing-song type of thing, but if you can find the melody, that can really help identify and form your performance of a script. That was another light bulb moment for me. Like, oh yeah, cool. And through him, I got to work with Uncle Roy Yokelson out of New Jersey. Great guy, fantastic producer of audio. I had a very informative session with him. I think he had a hard time expressing it to me, but he was also telling me that I was trying too hard. And so again, just that reinforcement and hearing these things time and again really helped to define not only some of my strengths, but some of my weaknesses as well, things to work on. And that's great. That's what you want to hear. You don't want to just be lavished with praise all the time. That doesn't help. You want constructive criticism. Okay, next was David Rosenthal. I had also followed GVAA for a while. And I decided to take a series of classes with David about character development for either, animation or video games, that kind of thing. Loved it. We got right down to the basics about the archetypes of characters. Great director, great source of information, great source of inspiration. Fantastic. Speaking of GVAA, his partner there, Christina Malizia. I had a session with her in San Francisco. This one was a class, and it was about voiceover for toys and kids games, that kind of thing. What a blast. Again, a fantastic teacher, tons of personality and inspiration. So yeah, see, I've worked with a lot of people, and I hope to work with more. And just opening doors left and right, just showing you what you're capable of, even if you think that you're not. That's the magic of working with other people, is to have them push your boundaries and to show you that, ooh, yeah, you're good at that. Let's do some more. When people open those doors for you or help you to open the door on your own, that just makes you a more marketable voice actor. The more strengths you have, the more types of performances that you can do convincingly and repeatedly and still be directable in the process. That's gold for producers. So anyway, that's it. That's my argument why coaching is so important for most of us and will continue to be important for most of us. And, jump in. It's a wise investment, and the only thing you have to fear is growth. Growth can be scary sometimes, but it'll just make you a better actor. All right? That's it for now. Hope you're well. Take it easy.